I was drinking.
I was drinking. I was drinking.
I told you I was going live.
You said you were going live. I guess you did.
I did. I told you. I told you, Austin, that it was going to happen.
Happy Friday, everybody.
Happy Friday.
This has been the hardest Friday to get to since E3. Honestly.
God.
E3 felt hard. E3 did more harm to the body, but it was easy. It was downhill. It's like, I'm fucking in it. There's on this roller coaster. Let's go.
Just a snowball down to the ground.
This has been a trying week. But we're here. I'm excited about today.
Excited for Friday?
It's excited for Friday. We did a No Man's Sky interview that went up on the site.
It's really
today.
good.
Thank you.
You guys
Very
did a
good.
great job.
You helped us edit it, so thank you.
You know, I just looked for typos.
Found them because there are like none in there, and it is a 9,500 word interview.
It's a meaty one.
It's
There's a lot of meat on them bones.
A lot of meat on them bones.
Mm-hmm.
There was a funny bit the other
All
day where Patrick was like, I think it's pretty long, but you know, I think it probably works, like, given the topic and how rare those interviews are and et cetera. I was like, it can't be that long. So I kind of went to the document and I was like, show me the word count. It was at 9,500 words. And I was like, oh, wow, that's a lot of fucking words. And then I realized it was in his, like, whatever Patrick is writing. We all have a document that is like, here is what we're writing right now. That way you don't have to send me a new link on Google Docs.
It's
or Google
just
Drive.
helpful, yeah.
It's just like, okay, whenever Danielle is working on a review or working on a news blip or whatever, it's like I can just type into my nav bar Danielle's Drafts, which is the name of Danielle.
That's the one I named mine, you know.
Exactly.
Patrick's is whatever Patrick is working on.
Right. Janine's is whatever Janine is writing.
That's
like,
right. Whatever Janine is writing, that's right.
Like, there's a bunch.
Yeah.
And I went, so I was like, oh, it's just Patrick's, whatever. So there must be like 6 other articles.
He keeps his clean, though, is the
But
thing.
he keeps his clean.
Yeah, I know.
That article, it was 9,500 words.
Damn.
And so it was like, I got like the double whammy. I had to do that double take. It was very funny, and it was very,
really good.
It was, it was good. But that's good. You can find that over on the website, waypointadvice.com. It is the fun thing. We'll talk about it on the podcast. We can't, sadly, just upload the audio. I wish we could. But one of the, you know how that stuff goes. You're like, oh, hey, we want to do this interview. Can we do it for the podcast? And they go, no. It's like, well, all right, we're not going to not do this interview. It's fine. We're gonna we'll just transcribe it.
We'll just talk about it on the podcast.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But beyond that, it has been like a week of meetings happening and not happening for me and prepping for meetings. So I have been lots of boardrooms and boardrooms, B-O-R-E-D.
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
You were bored in the room.
You made your fun in those board rooms.
I helped Joel level up his Shadowrun character.
That's what happens.
Great.
For people who don't know, we actually kicked off our new Waypoint 101 this week for Shadowrun Dragonfall, which is a cyberpunk like RPG, tactical RPG that is super good. I know a couple of you have started playing it at least, or I don't know if you've gotten to it yet.
I will this weekend.
Okay.
It'll start this weekend.
I need to hear about your characters.
I just started it a couple days ago. I made it through like the first mission, and my first time starting it, I was like, I want to be as cyberpunky as possible, so I decided to try making a Decker character, but I chose an elf.
Yeah.
Because
Elves are good Deckers.
I want to fucking be an elf.
Elves are cool.
I want to fucking
Elves
be
are
an
cool.
elf so badly. But I got so squished in the first mission because I also like don't have a lot of literacy for like these kind of like tactical strategy games. I mean, my strategy games that I've ever played have been like Fire Emblem and like
Those are
Final
hard.
Fantasy Tactics.
Sure.
Those are like my
So like not cover based, not guns and magic and hacking.
no.
Which is what this
More
is.
just like distancing and
So then I
running.
decided
Guns and
to
magic
build.
And it's a really hard first mission. Like that first mission's way harder than even like the second or third mission are, I think. Because you're going in with like a character you don't know how to use any of their abilities, you don't know who your crew is.
And you really have to like dive into the like
yes.
HUD to find how to play.
Yeah,
like
it is not a
there's no
tutorial.
like
Not a
step-by-step
tutorial
tutorial. It's like here's the rules of playing.
Yeah. Well,
And then it's like goodbye.
One of the things that's interesting is I'd forgotten this because it's been a standalone purchasable thing for so long now, like 4 years or whatever, 3 years. it launched just as DLC to Shadowrun Returns, which meant that you probably played through Shadowrun Returns, which is a worse game, but like opens with an hour and a half of tutorializing you how to play, which is like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. So this
those
doesn't really
systems
have
are
that.
the same for this, or do they change?
They've gotten better for this.
Okay.
Like they're a little bit deeper. There's a new armor system in.
Like, is it worth if you already happened to own Returns to
Maybe.
do the tutorials
The
and
Returns
then jump in?
opens well. Returns is like a pretty cool opening.
Yeah.
It goes places, like I think they dropped the ball a couple places. Returns ends up getting to be like weirdly ableist in some places. And it just like doesn't have a great ending. It ends with like a really boring series of fights. And it's like very, it doesn't have the thing I love the most about Shadowrun, which is the cycle of like, I have a crew of shadow runners. This is my crew. It's like the BioWare style. These are my pals. And then we're gonna go out on a job, and we're gonna come home and be with my pals. And then we're gonna go, and I'm like gonna explore the neighborhood. And then I'm gonna go out on another mission and come home. And like we're working towards a bigger thing. Shadowrun Returns is like very just like, it's like a hard-boiled detective novel or like a film noir of just like it is a straight shot. You're trying to uncover this one mystery, and everything you do is taking you closer and closer and closer. And it's still interesting.
Right.
But like as a game, the level design is really boring, and like the characters are nowhere near as developed, and you don't have that same like tight crew that you get in Dragonfall or Hong Kong.
Yeah. I'm really excited.
Yeah,
So I made a new character.
Tell me about your new character. What's your character's name?
Punch.
Okay, good.
I like that.
Punch is good.
She's a troll. Samurai, street samurai, who's like mainly, I'm dumping mostly in melee right now.
Cool. The street samurai in the parlance of Shadowrun is like cyberware, like metal arms and like whatever cyborg eyes and metal legs and shit.
Random like technological attachments to like your body.
Yeah.
So that mission went way better playing as Punch. Even though I didn't punch at all, I just used a machete.
Machetes are
And so I was like,
They have a good punch to them.
Psycho punching.
yeah,
it was awesome.
sharp punches.
Yeah. It was it's a interesting first mission. It was interesting that they encouraged you to leave
Yeah.
when
things go bad.
when things go bad, like get out. And I was like,
yes.
oh, I can handle this.
No, you genuinely cannot.
Absolutely not.
You end up fighting a mini boss who is like, oh, I have seven armor, and the way armor works in that game is just like, if you have armor, if you have 7 armor and you deal 8 damage, they take 1 damage.
Yeah.
And like, unless you have an ability to start stripping that armor away, like you're not going to do that. Armor is never going to decrease naturally.
Right.
It's like XCOM 2, that it's like that same armor system. And it's like, whew, okay. I bet someone's beaten him before.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I got lucky, I guess.
Oh yeah, what'd you build?
Well, okay, I made an orc decker.
Did you beat him?
I didn't have to deal with him.
Ooh.
He just ran around the room
Nice.
following my character.
Yeah.
It must have bugged. Apparently, there was a conversation that was supposed to happen
Did you
that
like
never
literally
triggered.
never trigger the conversation?
No,
with him?
and he just like kept moving around the room.
That's very funny.
And like there were other enemies that I had to deal with, and my main character did go down once, but they had that auto revive.
Auto revive, yeah.
But like I got everyone out, and I was like, okay, that seems strange.
Yeah.
And then someone in my chat was like, yeah, that dude's supposed to like be like mini like chain gunning you
he's like a
down. I'm like,
minigun,
okay.
yeah. So he has the thing is the minigun. I think to do its like real damage needs 2 action points to use, and so I'm betting he's spending 1 to catch up with you, and then he's like pop shoot at you a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, that's funny.
But yeah, just like walked around. I couldn't target him at all,
Right.
so like it was just wow.
That's really
It
funny.
was, yeah, I was like, oh, wow, that's a big boy, and then like nothing ever happened. But yeah, I made an orc decker.
What's his name?
Her name is
Oh, her
Professor
name.
Hacks,
Professor
Hacks.
Hacks.
is good.
Ooh.
It's good.
which I am now realizing I spelled out H-A-K-C-Z.
That's better.
But
Oh.
That's better.
I want an X now.
No,
now
because
that I've
let me
like
tell you what happened.
Yeah.
There's already an HAX out there.
right.
Oh.
And so you were like, oh, fuck. And it was like, you could be Professor Hacks.
Hacks.
And like, yeah, fine, I'll be Professor Hacks.
That works.
My elf decker was Hacks.
yeah.
There is
HAX.
another Professor
Oh my god,
Hacks out
there
there.
it is.
It was just
This
Hacks.
is canonical.
Oh,
And
good.
weirdly, she fucking died in that mansion on a previous run.
And that's
She
why,
super did.
And that's why,
like,
yep.
out of respect
Out
for
of
the dead,
respect.
went with a different
Was
name.
your character her character's like mentee?
Yeah,
like,
there we go.
Wow, and that's why you joined
took up
with-
the teaching position after she died, right?
That's unbelievable.
Hacks 2.0.
I just went by hacks
You
because
just went by
I
hacks.
don't go with the
Yeah,
the titles.
You're humble.
Right.
I'm humble. I got the degree.
Right, you don't need people
I don't
calling you
need people
doctor.
calling me
Yeah, I got you.
Professor,
I get
Doctor
you.
Hacks.
Yes, you take it seriously.
Because
You're
I
not
was
even
just,
in a
Dr.
teaching
Hacks.
role right now.
we're
Both.
here to just
That PhD is
have a
both.
conversation.
Totally.
That's what education is about. Just having a conversation
I'm
with
with you.
peers.
Right. I chose that. I ended up putting like professor because I accidentally clicked on. It brought up like a list of like
Etiquettes.
etiquettes. That's what it's called.
When you put
And, like,
Etiquette.
when you put charisma, so there's a bunch of stats in this game.
Yeah.
And unlike most games, you really should min max. Like you should really, if you're making a punch character,
for a-
be a punch character.
Gotcha. Be
the
Don't
punch.
even dip your toe in. Well,
But what if
you
you're the
can
kind of
do-
person who likes to multi-specialize?
You can multi-specialize, but you shouldn't pick more than 2 things, right? So like you're playing.
So I can't play as myself.
Well, no, you could. So like, what I would say for you is, I would say I would put like 4
Melee.
points into intelligence to give you, which is enough to get like decent bio
Yeah.
tech, which lets you heal people.
All right,
Then I
yes.
would do strength, and
Okay.
I would maybe do.
I always like to play as
charisma,
myself.
which is chi casting, which is like martial arts stuff. There's like a whole
shit.
like
Yeah.
adept tree of just like badass like kung fu film style
should
martial
write
arts
this down,
specialties.
huh?
We'll talk later.
All right, you send me a little DM.
I will.
Be like,
Totally.
here
You
we
can
go.
be-
Here's
you
how to
can be
play as
like
Danielle.
An adept medic, which would be really really good.
That's absolutely
And
what I want
because
to
of
be.
that, y'all, I think adepts use charisma, not willpower. Maybe they use willpower.
Willpower is, I'm pretty sure, for casting the like totems.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
the shamanistic
Yeah.
stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chi casting is I think
Charisma?
Nice.
right.
Interesting.
I could be backwards. Anyway,
But yeah, it was. I just saw this list of etiquettes and like was
Right.
really interested. Like, oh, academic is like a track. Like that's
Yep.
like the ones that they've decided to include in there. I thought was like it was a very long list.
yeah,
for,
it's like 8 of them. It's like
It's like I think it's like
Oh,
10 or 12 almost.
maybe it is,
like
yeah.
it was like the whole
It's-
like top.
I'm
to
looking
bottom
it
of the
up.
screen.
street. You look them up. See if I can name them.
Okay, hold
'cause I
on.
like this
Yeah,
game a lot.
this-
Dragon.
Dragonfall.
So etiquettes. So when you put for every 2 points of charisma you put in that game into a character, you get another etiquette that represents like part of the world that they understand and know. And sometimes in conversation, a character will be like, "Hey, no, like we're gonna get 80% of the cut, and you're gonna get 20%." And if you have the relevant etiquette, you can be like, "Listen, we both know that the average deal in a situation like this is 60-40." And like, okay, you know what you're talking about, blah. Or you could be like,
Alright.
it comes up right away with like, there's a character who gets hurt, and if you have a high enough like biotech skill, it'll say like, oh, here's the thing that happened, and you know that. And sometimes it's just for flair or flavor, where it's like,
Yeah.
oh, my character's perception of this is whatever.
that
But
a
other
lot.
times it's like, oh, I can gain access to, I can go through this whole mission without firing a shot because I can talk my way through it,
Right.
and that's really fun.
That's rad.
Are
you
you
have the
ready
list?
to name it?
Yeah. All right. Street,
Yep.
which is like I'm from the streets.
Right.
Shadowrunner. So I'm a Shadowrunner. Security, which means like I worked as a cop or like as like security guard, obviously. Gang, it was like I rolled with gangs for a while. Corporate, which is like you were a salary man or worked inside of the corporate like industry. Academic is 6, which we already named. How many are there total?
One more.
Only
Oh
one
really?
Oh wow.
I could have sworn that list was longer.
more. 1 second. Academic, street, socialite.
Yes.
Socialite, which
Yeah.
is like
Wow.
I know that because I once made an elf who I was role playing as a champagne socialist, is like this kind of just like oh, I care so much about the people. Her
Wow.
name is Champagne, but
Wow.
spelled like
Her name is
champagne.
Champagne.
Sham.
Oh, that's good.
I-N.
I like that
Good.
a lot.
My current character is literally what if this philosopher I know was a cyberpunk.
Who?
Bernard Stiegler, who all right, so
Tell me
there are
about
parts
Bernard.
of this story that are verifiable based on fact, and there are parts that I heard from someone who knows him over beers when he was coming to visit and do a speech at or do a talk at CalArts when I was there. Bernard Stiegler owned a jazz bar in the 1970s, late 70s in Paris, 70s, 80s, And it turned out that that was not a profitable business, and so he was going out of business. And so what he decided to do was rob a bank. And it turns out he was better at owning a jazz club than robbing a bank, and he wasn't that good at owning a jazz club. So he went to jail.
Wow.
And while in jail, he became a philosopher. And is rad, and is just like his contemporary philosopher. You know, he's been a philosopher now for 25 years. He like runs a school in France, and so my character used to be a jazz club owner, and so he's street because like jazz clubs, street stuff goes on at jazz clubs.
Right.
Oh yeah.
And then became a ganger. He has the gang etiquette to represent that like, hey, I had to do some work to try to keep my jazz club open. And
he did some time too.
And then and then he did some time, and he came out as an academic, so he has the academic trait also.
That's
That's
incredible.
wonderful.
His name is Ghost. He's a decker. He's literally an orc decker that uses rifles. First time I'm ever using rifles in one of these games. I always use shotguns or pistols because
picked
those
the
are
shotgun.
cooler. Shotguns are fun. His name is
I'm
Ghost
still figuring out
Noise.
the range on that
Ghost
shotgun.
Noise?
Ghost
Noise?
noise, which is like when
Damn.
if you are a trumpet player or a drummer, there are sometimes notes you hit that are too quiet to actually transcribe, but they're so important to the character of the piece. And so it's like, listen, I'm important to your mission, but I'll never leave a trace.
Damn, that's good.
You're good at that.
This is what I do. This is what I do.
Very good.
So it's fun. I'm happy to be revisiting it. It's been like cool to dig back into cyberpunk stuff right now, especially something that's like. Yeah, Herman Ruin says, should have called him Techne, which is a Bernard Stiegler concept that he uses a lot. I almost did. I promise you I almost did. And I was like, I want to emphasize the jazz stuff and not the specific instances of this philosopher's work. Anyway, that's extremely nerdy shit.
No, it's great.
Love it.
One thing I've noticed about that is that I've got to like turn off my XCOM brain for cover because like you can't peek around, like walls don't count as cover and stuff, or like it's
They
strange.
count as like
they break line of sight,
but not
like you can't be there and also
yes,
peek around.
Yes, I
which
wish it
is
did
like,
that.
Yeah,
I wonder if there's a mod out there that changes that.
that'd be nice.
It'd be really useful.
I've just like gotta learn to like look for the little little shield and make sure it's
Yeah,
cover and not
totally.
like.
It's funny, like that stuff is like, it's so interesting to visit XCOM style combat in a game that isn't just about combat.
Right.
Like it's primarily not about combat. The combat exists, it's important, but like.
And that was like
That's not the whole
something
deal.
I found interesting about
Yeah.
just like going into like post first mission. It was like the same interface, but I was still moving around the world, and I was like, oh wait, am I about to get into a fight? And I was like, no, it ended up that's just how you move through the world always, which is an interesting, instead of like this, the XCOM, you're on a mission, you're at base, and like that's a whole totally different UI and everything.
Totally.
This obviously makes you feel more like this like single character through line rather than like like you're the overseer.
The overseer, right? Totally. Which they could have done, right?
Right.
The same team that made BattleTech,
Right.
and BattleTech is that. BattleTech is your. Well, I guess
Exactly.
in BattleTech you do also still have the character, right?
Yeah, but like it's still the same kind of dichotomy where you're not the things that you're controlling in battle. None of them are technical. Well, I guess one of them could technically be you, but it doesn't have to be, right? And you're the one giving the orders in like a meta sense.
Right.
But like in Shadowrun, it's like you are that character and everyone else, and you're giving
And you're
orders,
playing
like,
everybody
maybe,
else,
yeah.
But you're not like leveling them up in the same way. Which
You're
is
like
different.
directing them.
Yes.
I would
Right.
say
That's
is
exactly
much more
it.
because it is like made in the first mission. You become the team leader,
Right.
which like makes sense that like that is how you then proceed by like giving direction, but it's not like you're calling out anything, but it does make much more sense because you can't control other people's dialogue options as far
Right,
as I'm
right,
aware. Yeah.
No, or
So-
even use them to solve problems sometimes, which is a little cheesy, which is like, where it's like, let's say I don't have the security etiquette.
Yeah.
Iger, who is this like buff troll woman with a huge sniper rifle, you're gonna love the characters in this game.
Oh, I'm
Just-
so
I
excited. Yeah.
it's just like
I'm pumped.
it's so good. She certainly has a security background. Like she
Yeah.
is military.
Yeah.
Why can't she talk her way into this place for
Right.
me? And
Yeah.
it's like, oh, that part's. It's like, listen, no, you're the leader. You speak. And it's like,
Yeah.
okay, fine.
Yeah.
Speak. Okay, let's do it. Fine.
Thanks, Dr. Puppy.
Is there a Dr. Oh, yeah, thanks, Dr. Puppy. Awesome.
It's a great name, too. I just want to say Dr. Puppy is a
Puppy.
great
That's two great
name.
things.
Yeah,
Two
the
things we need
two
more of
great
in this
things.
world, you know?
Doctors
We need
and
doctors,
puppies.
we need
Doctors and
puppies.
puppies.
We need puppy doctors.
Yeah, agreed.
You know, like
Agreed.
all the
We do
the
need
permutations.
puppy doctors.
So badly.
Give more puppies their
their degrees, their
doctorates.
doctorates.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
agreed.
I
But
think
you know
Drake should have one.
Dr. Hacks doesn't need the title. You know who does? Puppies.
puppies.
Dr.
Give them the
Puppies.
puppies.
Dr. Puppies.
You know. How's everybody else's week been other than Dragonfall? What have you been up to? Anything fun?
Playing with my dog.
That's good.
Yes.
A whole bunch.
Does your dog have a doctorate or?
I think he does have a doctorate in anxiety. I think that's he takes puppy
Great.
Prozac.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's all right. He has been very emotionally fragile lately. So I've been spending a lot of time with him when we work from home, like he's been like in my lap
Aw.
pretty much the whole day.
That's really nice.
Whenever Ori's not in my lap, who's my tiniest cat, she's very, very
Little
small.
baby.
She likes to be in my lap too.
Yeah.
And Drakey has been very sweet and very cute, and he has a lot of kisses for everyone.
Awesome.
Very
I have
cute.
to meet Drake
Adorable.
at some point.
I think you should. I wish I could bring him here.
Me too.
I truly wish we had
Okay,
a dog policy.
Counter argument immediately. It sounds like your dog makes messes.
He poops on the floor a lot. He's a bit of a floor pooper.
What am I supposed to say to that, Danielle?
You're supposed to say, "That's fine.
It's
He's
not.
so cute."
It's not. It's not fine. You know how long it took us to get this carpet. We can't get another one.
I
This
know.
is the only one they'll give us.
This is the only one.
Let me just say, I have bleach with me at all times around Drake. I got bleach everywhere I go. I got bleach.
Yeah.
If I'm with Drake,
Ready.
I've got bleach.
Oh my god.
All right, so it's gonna be all right.
Okay.
Bleach kills everything.
It sure
It
does.
Yeah, but this isn't a white carpet.
I mean, it might
Yeah.
have a little bleachy stain, but that's the price you pay for kisses.
You
He
get kisses
loves to
cheaper
be
than
in
poop when
laps.
you're by- oh my
Yeah.
He's like, he is so tiny, but like
I-
if you're sitting say we're sitting here,
Yeah.
Cado and I, he will do his best. He will go from lap to lap, and then he'll do his best to be on both laps. He'll do a
nice.
thing where like he tries to get his butt
Like-
on one person and his
like-
paws on the other.
Very
If there are three
cute.
people on a couch, he will stretch to his
Wow.
like.
That is extremely
He
cute.
wants you
It's
to know
amazing.
how much he loves you.
Wow.
Like he really is the most loving dog. So I'm just saying.
As long as it's paws on my legs and not butt, because I hear that butt
You know.
is not
Well, he doesn't poop on people.
yet.
Not yet.
You never know. You
Not
know?
yet. All right.
I can't be sure.
You gotta be sure. Hey, like I said, bleach. I bring bleach everywhere I
Don't
go.
bleach my knees. Please.
Don't bleach my knees.
After they get pooped on. Actually, go
I
ahead.
think you would.
Maybe
I
just
think
go
you'd
for it. You're right.
You know what?
I think maybe,
I'm good.
you know, you might appreciate that. Thanks,
what's
industrial.
What's the worst pet situation anyone's ever had in terms of like bad pets? Has anyone had bad pets?
Naughty pets.
Naughty pets.
I've had some naughty pets.
Yeah.
Ooh, I have one.
Uh-huh.
My baby Peanut. Sox' sister. Soxy has a sister
that.
named
Socks
Peanut,
is a sister.
who we adopted, actual sister of the same litter, and my mom adopted her, and I adopted Sox, and then
Okay.
we separated them.
Sure.
but they
sounds
visit,
hard.
over holidays. It's like family. You see them over the holidays.
It goes great.
When they're together too long, just trouble. Just
Oh
trouble.
no.
But Peanut, one time my mom called me and she goes, Peanut is a poopy girl. And I said, why is Peanut a poopy girl? And she said, Peanut, for context, my grandmother lives with my mom and she has incontinence problems. So she wears like
Yeah, of
Depends.
course. Sure.
And she has a bathroom that is easily accessible by the dogs.
Oh no.
And there was a Depends that had been thrown away.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
no.
And there we go. Peanut was a poopy girl.
Peanut.
Peanut was a bad poopy girl. That was probably the worst. Also,
God.
Peanut is a rascal, really. Peanut loves
Oh no, really? A rascal? Not Peanut.
Peanut loves to bring in small dead animals into the house. and give them to my
did I
mom
go
for
here?
present.
Why did I ask
So
this?
Peanut has found
That does
lots
happen.
of baby possums.
Sure.
Most
Ooh.
not dead
That's
actually.
bigger. I was like, I'm just like a bird,
Yeah.
maybe a tiny squirrel.
Somebody
Yeah.
said poo nut.
Yeah, poo nut. I'm gonna give that one to my
Yeah,
mom.
you said that. You just type it back right now.
Poo nut.
Win that group chat.
Tell
Family
poo
chat.
nut I
boom.
say hello.
Everyone give you that laugh
Hashtag
reaction.
poo nut. Your mom will love that. She's a poopy
Peanut's
girl.
the cutest though. She's
Do you have a
really cute.
picture?
I do have a picture.
See, this is the thing. I can't. If I can't.
You can't?
I can't. Like, that's not a fair trade.
All that love.
There's lots of people who love me in my life. I'm very blessed.
But
I know, it's a wonderful
unconditionally.
thing.
I don't want it unconditionally. There should be some fucking conditions on loving me. If I'm a bad
condition
person,
is
You gotta deal with
don't love me. My dog will love me anyway.
Pooping doesn't make you a bad person.
No, I'm talking about me.
Oh, I see.
I'm saying
I see.
I don't want someone to unconditionally
I
love me.
underst-
There should be some love.
I got you.
I don't want a
got you.
dog. I don't want a dog when I go home and like, man, I fucked up today. It's like, you are the best. Like, no, I'm not. Let me feel bad.
No,
That's why I like cats.
I love
'Cause I
it.
walk in and if I have a cat
Yeah.
and I've had a bad day and I did something wrong, a cat's like, yeah, you fucked up.
Yeah, the cat,
I can,
I can
see it.
feel
You
it.
can tell.
cats
Like-
kind of know, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. 100%.
Cats are like, no, something's up with you.
Something's up with you.
I don't
huh?
know what
I'm
the
gonna be
fuck.
over here. Well, you get your shit right. You
Yeah.
let me know. I'll be on your lap. You can pet me. But
My
Yeah.
heart
Until
can't
then.
take that. I'm
See?
too
Ugh.
fragile to
yeah,
be.
That's why having
that
both
Italian?
is the best.
yeah, both.
Yes,
Having both
Italian,
is
I
really
speak
the
it.
best.
I grew up with a dog. So to be clear, like
Yeah.
I like dogs.
Yeah.
I grew up with a dog. I
Thanks,
loved
Axel
that
Hunter.
dog. I lost that dog. That was sad. No,
I'm
that's
sorry.
not. I didn't lose that dog. It didn't die. I don't know where that dog is.
Oh, what?
shit, you lost it.
that
No,
dog.
I didn't lose it that way either. I went to school.
Oh,
and when I went to
oh.
school,
The situation
it
changed at
snapped
home.
at my mom once.
Oh no.
And that was it. And she was like, nah, bye. And that was like, and I was like, that was quick. But also, if I was in your position, I probably would have done the same thing. Maybe, I don't
Peanut.
know.
The poopy girl.
But so yeah, I don't. But I've had lots of cats, and I've had some bad cats.
Do cats really?
That's cute.
That
Oh,
was on
she's
her
a cute
birthday.
poopy girl.
She
It
had
went
a
away.
birthday.
It went to sleep, but she's very
But
cute.
She had a
cute.
birthday crown. for
Peanut
her
is a
birthday.
cute poopy dog. Yeah.
Cute poopy
There she
girl.
is.
No source says, why are cats allowed to scratch and bite people with impunity, but dogs are not? I mean, also a lot of people don't let their cats scratch or bite.
Yeah,
people.
you really
You
shouldn't
shouldn't
let
do
your
that.
cat do that either. Cats are less okay. As somebody
You
who
own
has
both.
many
Yeah, you've had both,
of
yeah.
both, like you can teach cats behavior. You can punish them in a cat appropriate
Mm-hmm.
way, and like if you ever do any behavior analysis kind of stuff, like you can work with a trainer.
Totally.
Like if you have a problematic cat, there are things
People
you can
think
do.
cats are just themselves all the time. Like
Yeah,
you
no,
can't
they're
ever train cats.
They're
You can train cats.
mammals.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you can train you can train a mouse to do things. You can train a cat to do things. I had a cat that like we taught to do tricks, and like she did the tricks. It was just
Totally.
It's a simple thing. It was just getting up on her hind legs and doing a little
Right.
thing. But
Cutie.
like you can teach them things.
That's
and like
amazing.
Ori had a little biting problem when she was a
Right.
baby, and like when we adopted her, an animal behaviorist was like, she's a kitten. She's very small. She's like
Right.
ridiculously undersized, and that's probably why she had a little biting problem.
Mm-hmm.
And they were just like, here's what you do for that. Like you just basically don't reinforce the behavior. If they
Right.
start to do a little nip, you completely take away any stimulus, and they are like, oh, I'm not playing anymore.
Yep.
And it like gets rid of the behavior. So anyway,
And it
cats
does.
can be trained. Just obviously
They're the
they're not
best.
as attuned to learning things super quickly as like a puppy or a dog, because thousands of years
Of
of
breeding
them
towards that
towards
direction.
that
Right,
exactly make
right.
them very quick to pick things up. But cats are just as smart, and they're able to
Totally.
pick things up.
Yeah.
I had a cat that would play fetch, which was really fun.
Yeah.
Didn't even
Yeah,
have to train.
both of my
all
my
my
little
cats
cats
have, yeah.
love
It's so
fetch.
great.
It's
Totally.
it's so cute.
Yeah, it's like weird that that's such a like dog specific activity, but I mean I've met plenty
Kitties
of cats
love
that do
it
it, and
too.
it's really adorable.
Yeah, they're playing with their owner, or if not their owner, like they're playing with their human, and it's
Right.
fun for them. So
Yeah. It's what's really funny is just the difference in like ending fetch between a dog and
Yes.
a cat. Like the cat's just like gets there, doesn't even pick it up, goes away.
Keep
Like,
going. Like, I'm done now.
I'm done with
might.
all of
I'm
this.
done.
Right?
Yeah. Okay, we're done. That was it.
Yeah.
It's like, I
we
played
did, we
with
did
you.
a couple times.
I like that's the thing is I've definitely that I am a cat person in that way also, which is like all right, I'm leaving. Like I've been that person. I was like, yeah, cool.
enough.
We played that card game. I'm gonna go to the
Peace?
store.
Yeah.
Peace. So that is no wonder they resonate with me. I don't know. Like I had a really bad cat when I was a kid that would like we just failed to train.
Yeah.
We just failed to train him. Like we just failed. But peed on everything.
Oh.
Like peed like. Use the litter box. It was not
Right.
that it's not that he was not trained to use the litter box.
Right,
He
right.
used the litter box. He just would also be like, "Oh yeah, you left your jacket out on the couch." Please.
That's
like
mine now.
scratch, like ruin this jacket, pee on it. That's mine.
A little asshole.
But not the couches. Like not the drapes, not the like clothing or bags. Like if someone
Because
if
it
you came
smelled
home-
like you.
Right.
Is the
If you
thing. And it
came-
wanted
that's
to smell
exactly
like it.
If you came home with luggage and you were like, I'm just gonna leave my suitcases out in the living room. Like, no, you're not. Jedi the cat is gonna cut that shit out. Listen, I like Jedi a lot.
That's fine. It's just, it's a cute cat name, actually.
It's a cute
That's a
name.
very
I had a
cute
bunch of
cat
cats when I
name.
was young.
But yeah, there's like, yeah, you have to like either work with a behaviorist or just learn like on the internet or whatever. Or like there are chemicals you can put on things to,
Yeah.
They
anyway.
smell bad.
That smell
the
bad or
pet-
whatever.
The, ridiculous cat lady is here. For
I love
And
cats.
ridiculous
I wish
dog
I had a
lady.
cat
I
now.
am
I don't have a cat now. I wish I
100%
did.
both.
I'm definitely a dog lady.
Yeah.
I've never had a
You've
cat.
never had a cat. You've met cats though. Finally.
I've met Danica's cats.
Right.
They were
She's
very
very
cute.
They're cute
cats.
cats.
But I wasn't
Yes.
allowed to pet one.
Yeah.
And then Astra was like kind of on her own
Right.
world. But my dad was mad allergic to cats, so I never really interacted. None of my friends had
yeah.
cats.
Yeah.
LA's like not a lot of
Dog than
cats.
cat.
Not a lot of cats that I know in LA growing up. Lots of dogs.
Have you ever tried
Yeah.
to walk a cat?
Yeah, I've actually been
That's very
training
cute.
Ori
Nice.
to walk
Great.
on a leash. And she's into it. Because she's like a very adventurous, very friendly little cat. Like we're just like training in the hallway in my apartment, but she's like pretty into it. She's
That's
like
nice.
oh, what's over here? It's just a little weird because she's like obviously not used to being on a leash, so if I like
Right.
very gently pull her one way, she's like, what?
What is this?
What the hell? We're
How
walking a
am I
dog,
moving?
like they're very amenable to, especially if you train them. I have a halty harness for my dog because he was like an extreme scavenger.
Yeah, what's a halter?
When I first got him, so a halty is
Is it like a halter top?
it
for a
goes
dog?
over. It's a halter top.
Okay.
He has
Would
like a
dog wear
little halter.
top like this? Or
Cute.
like-
You know, it's like a very.
Yeah.
It's like on the top. Yeah, exactly.
Belly button's out.
Yeah, he shows his navel. You know, he's a proud. He's
Okay, good.
proud to like show his little tummy. It goes over their nose actually,
Oh.
and so you basically gently guide them.
Oh, interesting.
Like they
Okay.
immediately like it moves their head a little
Like a
bit.
horse.
It looks
It's
like
like a bridle.
a tiny bridle,
Gotcha,
and
I
people
see
always
it.
think it's a muzzle and that he's gonna bite them. And I'm like, no, he's really friendly. He
Yeah.
just likes to eat garbage, and this is so much easier.
Right.
Then
he
it's like
doesn't
stop
eat
it.
garbage.
Yeah, right.
Well, because he's so quick. He'll
try-
just, you'll think he's like, looking through the grass, just like sniffing, and like
Right.
all of a sudden,
He's like,
good job. You ate
Right.
something, and now
bone.
you're gonna throw up
Yeah.
for 3 days.
Great.
Like, good job. So having the halty is much better.
God.
I tried to walk my cat once when she
Yeah.
was very young, and
good to
I
start 'em
think
young.
I
Yeah.
think we made a mistake by trying to do this at a park, because we
Oh.
put her in the cat carrier, and then like we kind of like went out to like a big open field, which is probably not the best thing. When
Yeah.
she's she was a barn cat. We got her
Oh.
very young.
Yeah.
My friend has a barn in Maryland, and their house cat had a litter with just a random like feral cat, and they were like, we need someone to take these kittens. So
Yeah.
they sent us a bunch of pictures. We picked out the one we liked. When we actually went to pick them up, all of them like ran and hid, except for the cat that ended up
Aw,
being our
yeah.
cat, which was really
Aw.
cute. And she was just like, I'm cool, I'm chill. Until we like touched her, and she's like, nah, I'm not about this.
Like this.
Yeah.
Oh.
But she ended up being very sweet, and we were like very interested in being like the people who will walk their cat.
Yeah.
And,
That's a fun thing to be in the
right.
neighborhood.
Yeah. And so we took her out and we put her on the salon, and she flattened. I've never seen a cat be so flat against the ground. Like she was trying to hide in the grass,
That's
which was
amazing.
regular sized grass. So I was
That's
like, oh, you
amazing.
poor baby.
Oh, buddy.
And then it was we didn't like try again, and like I don't know, life got busy. Once we moved to New York, we tried again on our like fire escape, and she was like all about it. She was like, oh, I'm gonna
Yeah.
go everywhere now. Like
Yeah.
I've lived this life of the indoors. I want to see what's out here.
Wow.
Yeah, unfortunately she died, so.
Oh, I'm sorry.
This is like the sad thing with pets, right? It's
Sorry.
like it's so hard not. My mom has a cat who I love, who is like the kindest pet I've ever had or like I've ever known in my life. She's like deeply affectionate, deeply like so warm, so loving. Like required no training. Like was just immediately
That's nice.
like the perfect blend of not making any messes. Wanted to have like physical attention, would also leave you alone. Like if you were in that space, that'd be fine. It just was a good cat, or is a good cat.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
ideal.
she's had that cat since the last time I lived in New York City, which was like 10 years ago, and I
So
moved. Like she
older.
got that cat when I left New York, so it's getting there, and it's like, well, in the next 10 years, probably that cat is gonna die.
Yeah.
And that's gonna be really sad for my mom, who loves that cat. And it's like, ugh,
It was.
I don't even want to think about it. My dad just lost one of his 2 dogs, and like,
No.
I mean, again, that was a whole thing. That was like my dad got. So at the time, my dad. I don't have to tell this whole story. I don't have to tell. I'll save the story for another time. Long and short, he's had that dog for a long time, and it died last year, right after his brother did. And it's just like the timing on it was just like, Dad.
I'm so sorry.
And like my stepmom also was like, oh, both of you, I love you so much, but I'm not. This dog. I don't know. How do you fill that gap? It's really. They had another dog. They have another dog, which is nice. Like that helps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a lot. It's a lot.
That's so much.
The saddest thing, and I'll leave. I think we should probably go to break and come back with Bloodborne.
Bloodborne
I'll leave
to
on the
cheer us
saddest-
up.
The saddest possible note is that last Christmas, my dad got. So my dad loved that dog, but that dog was originally a gift for my stepmom for his wife, and so she loved that dog. And he had secretly like taken a bunch of video of them together and like of the other dog for years on various phones and like, you know, crappy videos, like not like home video, like not even like well shot home video stuff. Just like, oh yeah, I have a phone, I'm gonna take a video.
Yeah.
And so he like dug up all these phones or whatever, you know, took it to a place, got the video off, put it on a DVD and gave it to her for Christmas, which is like really cute and nice. The other dog, Bella, when they played the DVD, did
God, I'm
not
gonna cry.
understand
I'm gonna cry.
that Prince, the dog they lost, she heard Prince barking and like started running around the house
Oh my God.
looking for him. And it was the saddest thing I've ever seen. And it was like the saddest thing I've ever seen.
Oh my god.
I was like, Bella, I don't know how to do this.
I'm trying so hard not to cry on stream right now.
So, loss
Why would
is
you do
inevitable.
this?
So
Why?
I need help as a human.
Oh my God.
So
You want to hang out with Socks sometime? Hang out with Socks anytime,
When I
bro.
go home today, what I would want is a cat that was like, yo, that was too far, Austin. Come on. Why would you do that to me? Happy Friday, everybody. As Tanya says, happy Friday. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be back with some Bloodborne.
We shall. We'll be right back.
Peace.